Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. So today I will be discussing things in Tanki Online that maybe OGs will remember. Now I've been playing Tanki Online since 2011 and a ton has changed since that time. A lot of old things in Tanki Online would probably confuse the newer players. However, if you've been playing Tanki for a long time, get ready for some serious nostalgia. Now there are some obvious things such as the Flash version of the game or the older vlogs that I don't mention in this video because you've probably heard about that a ton of times. So I tried to find some things even OG players might have forgotten about. Without further ado, let's get into things only Tanki Online OGs remember. Now the first one's going to be paints used to be attached to protections. Now paints like Electro would protect against Smokey and Twins, Spark would protect against Firebird, Twins, and Ricochet, and Emerald would protect against Twins, Railgun, and Thunder. Now honestly back then, everyone would remember specific paints and automatically know which protections were associated with those paints. And although it was nice, I'm glad it got changed because paints are now a large part of the personalization of your tank, and being forced to use one paint would likely get really annoying if you wanted to use a different paint. It was definitely an iconic part about Tanki Online in the past, but probably a good thing that was changed. The second thing is going to be you used to be able to get a gift every day when you logged on. Now this was super old and a lot of people probably forgot about this. If your rank was lower than Jeff Reader, you would automatically get the score multiplier pass, which helped you level up faster. There was also a no supplies pass, which allowed you to play without losing your supplies for 24 hours. You could also get a double crystals card, which would help you earn crystals faster. And then you could earn some crystals of supplies. Now these were really fun because it incentivized players to log on back then. Now all you really have are daily missions, but there was something fun about getting a free reward just for logging in. Not to mention these free gifts massively helped free-to-play players because back then using supplies and getting supplies was very difficult. Most games that I played, I would maybe use 5 to 10 supplies tops, and that was only if I really wanted to win a 1v1 or had the flag. You didn't really use supplies all that often back in the day just because they were so hard to get, and the only way you could get more is by spending money. Now the third thing is you used to be able to rent XT skins. Now when XT skins initially came out, you couldn't purchase them and were only allowed to rent them. Now you could also randomly get missions that would reward you with XT skins, and these missions were really cool, and we haven't really gotten anything similar to that in a long time. Supposedly the whole contracts in Tanki currently is supposed to fix that, but since it's been a year since that was announced, I'm not sure how much longer we have to wait. Before XT skins were added to the shop and containers, there was a section in the garage to purchase them, typically for around 500,000 crystals, which was a ton back then. XT skins would also have different looks depending on how upgraded your hull was or your turret. If you had M1 Railgun and Hornet, your XT skin would look different than if you had a maxed out M3 Railgun and Hornet. It was pretty cool how they changed back then. I'm surprised they took that away, and it was just really cool. I will be honest though, I'm still not sure to this day if what I saw back then was an edited video or if this was legit in the game. Please let me know in the comments down below if this is actually real, because back then I wasn't even nearly close enough to being able to get these items. The fourth thing is that gold boxes didn't always have a drop zone and took a while to drop, where you can now find the drop zones that didn't always exist. In current Tanki, you can easily find where a gold's gonna drop because of the drop zones that are in the game, but in the past you would have to know the different areas where golds would drop and guess which side you would gamble on for the gold dropping. Now the golds also took a decently large amount of time to drop, where now they only drop after 10 to 15 seconds of the notification, where back then it took a while, 30 seconds to a minute for the gold to drop, and every single person would just line up not killing each other. The respect for no kill during the gold was actually real back then, whereas now it's only 1,000 crystals. Who really cares that much? But back then 1,000 crystals for a gold box was about a few hours worth of grinding, so it was huge. The fifth thing is at the max rank with Generalissimo. Before the legend rank, your max rank would be Generalissimo rank, and you could gain infinite XP beyond that. Now when the legend rank was added, your XP was converted into legend ranks, so different players would have different legend ranks depending on how much XP they had earned. Now back when this change was made, I had only gotten back into the game for a few months and was still nowhere near Generalissimo. You would receive 37,000 crystals to rank up, which in 2016 was a lot of crystals, whereas now you only get one container, which is likely going to give you 1,000 crystals. So they definitely need to do something with updating the rewards you get for ranking up. The sixth thing is that you could choose which server you played on. Now back when Tanki Online had tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of players online at one time, you would have to select different servers which still had open slots available. Typically you could either stay in a less active server or just change the URL in the top of your page to get into top servers. That was honestly one of the cool tricks that a lot of OGs probably remember. You could just switch the server in the top of your URL to get into the pack servers. Now we just have one server that typically only has a few thousand players players online at the peak hours. But back then, there would be times where most of the servers would be completely full, and it could sometimes be hard to play with your friends in the super packed servers. Now the seventh thing is that there was no matchmaking back then. Now back in the old times of Tanki, there was no matchmaking. You would have to find empty pro battles which were made by other players. The most common maps during the time were Polygon, Noise, Silence, and a few others. I think a lot of OGs can remember seeing one spot on a team in different battles and luckily getting in. But then there was another huge problem with pro battles back then, is that a lot of battles were one-sided half the time, and you would just have the enemy team getting wrecked, leaving instantly, and the broken team increasing their lead. That was one problem with pro battles back then. And also, most of the time in noise battles, you would just want to be on the red team since they had the top spawn. The eighth is that Madness used to have a bottom of the map. Now I know a lot of people probably don't really play Madness all that often, but back then it was one of the most played maps when it was added. Now, Race for Golds used to be a very popular mode that people would play with their friends on the Madness map. Since it was the bottom of the map, many players would fall off the top and hope they wouldn't flip. Now, this map would also have some of the largest amounts of players, so it was a smart map to play when grinding up and trying to rank. When capturing a flag back then, your XP was determined by how many players were in the game, so capturing a flag in Madness will give you a ton of XP compared to a battle with half the amount of players. Now, the ninth thing is that it was really hard to rank back then. With Tanki now, you can rank up really easy. However, during the first few years in Tanki, it was extremely difficult to rank up. But honestly, I thought the difficulty in ranking up helped with the feeling of progression, since ranking up enough to get the next upgrade on a turret or hull was a massive accomplishment. Because Asita was one of the first turrets you could upgrade from MO to M1, which was a major accomplishment and why Asita was so common back then, especially in the low ranks. When I first started playing, the max rank I reached before I got bored, this was probably years of playing, I only reached Warrant Officer 4 because it was so difficult to rank without premium. And then it was hard to get super broken equipment unless you spent money, so you were just fighting a downhill battle to rank up. Now you can just reach Warrant Officer 5 in one day. Shot effects are another thing that only OGs will remember having a connection with upgrades. I remember one of the main things I looked forward to when getting the next upgrade on a turret was the new shot effect. It's been so long I forgot most of the different shot effect colors, but Asita turned darker the more you got it up. Railgun had a purple shot for M2 and a golden shot for M3, and the sense of progression was massively heightened from these different shot effects because you saw a purple railgun shot or a golden railgun shot instantly started getting scared. Shaft had its own different shot effects for higher upgrades, and shot effects were just such a large part of progressing through the game. And those are 10 things OGs will probably only know about. I definitely plan on making a second part of this video, so definitely let me know what things I missed in the comments below, what super unique things that only OGs would remember about Tanki Online. I really enjoyed making this video. It's been super fun. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like and comment down below. Don't forget to use creator tag Taspens in the item shop. I'll see you guys in a future video. Peace out.